our next demo will be a blind on the move contour drawing. Up to this point, we've done blind to the end of the drawing, contour drawing, where you're not allowed to look at your paper until the drawing is finished. You look at it at the beginning and then at the very end after all the lines are done. And so that's very restrictive in how often you can look at the paper. Next, we did blind to the end of a line contour drawing, where you could look to see where you put your pencil down, but then you look at your subject until you get to the end, and then you can look at, when you get to the end of the line, you can look to see where you put your pen to start your next line. This one is blind on the move, which means you can look back as often as you want, as long as you stop your pen. This gives you more freedom. But the idea behind all of these blind contour exercises is to get you to really look at the subject. That's where all the information is that you need to know to do your drawing. Your information is not on your paper, it's not what the teacher says, but it's really what you see. It's coming through your eyes and on out to the tip of your pen or pencil. If you think about your drawing too much and lose contact with your subject, your drawing will usually suffer. But if you're really focusing on your subject, get lost in just what that line is doing, you're going to pick up more of that in your drawing. It's almost like tracing, although there's kind of some wonderful distortions in it. But I'm going to put my hand in a different position here, like this, and I'm going to start with, I guess I'll start with my thumbnail. I don't know why I always do that. But I can stop and look back as often as I want. Whoops, can't move it. Can't look while it's moving though. And then I'm going to come around here. Oops, I'm cheating. And I'll come down this side. There's a little hangnail thing. Come down to the base of my thumb, and I come around. There's a couple little bumps there. I'm going to stop, and I can look to see where I'm going to get to that end. Okay, and I will do my usual line for the half moon thing at the end of my thumb, and there's a little line up here. It's formed since I cut my nails a day or two ago, and a reflection. See where I'm going. Now I can see I go down. There's a little reflection right there. And this is kind of fun. I didn't see this, but there's sort of almost like a shaded area. I could translate that into they sort of follow the curve of my thumbnail. And over here, there's maybe some more lines. Then this comes around. I can look to see how far out I am. If I stop my pen, now I see I need to come down more, back in, dips in, comes out, dips in, then comes around like that. You can look and see where I am. I can see that this knuckle, I'm going to have this knuckle line up with this now. Now that I'm looking, I can do that a little better. I come up on the knuckle, and at that Y, I'm going to follow the wrinkle in, and see where to put the pen to put that next wrinkle, and so on. And I'll do the rest of this in the stop action time lapse. You will see my head moving back and forth all the time, and in the stop action it's going to look real jerky, but the whole idea is I'm looking back to the subject, and it's like I'm kind of sucking up information into my my mind and my heart, and it comes out my pen, and I just keep looking back to pull more information. And again, we're not so worried about proportion. We're mainly looking at the details along the contour. Every swell, every depression, every little pimple and hair and freckle, whatever you come across, you're going to record all those little details. In your instructions on your handout, I believe I've written that you can vary the pressure of your drawing tool and push harder to get thicker lines and thinner, less to have that, to get a thinner line, a lighter line, even a dotted line. It's harder to do that with a marker on a board, but if you were doing a finished drawing this way, you could come back and just arbitrarily even thicken up certain parts of the line to make it more visually interesting. You'll eventually do a, now I'm looking this is like after the drawing's over, something you could do to improve it. But we'll talk about that when we get to a finished drawing. Right now we're in the exercise phase where we're not worried about a finished drawing. We're basically training our eye and hand to work together. And they say at a deeper level, you're actually using a different hemisphere of your brain when you concentrate in drawing like this. It's a right hemisphere activity. So I'll continue this in the stop action time lapse, and you'll see how the drawing finishes up.